great British explorer George Mallory, who was to die on Mount Everest, was asked why did he want to climb it. He said because it is there. The space is there, and we're going to climb it. And the moon and the planets are there, and new hopes for knowledge and peace are there. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
July 16th, the day had come.
First arriving, we arrived in New York City, came from Frankfurt. We went through Europe a little bit, and a family member had booked a flat for us in New Jersey, and the impression was not good in New York, to tell you the truth. They rented for us an apartment. You know, the men don't know much about that. The New York apartment were not very clean. So the fridge, I opened the fridge and cockroach jumped on me from the fridge. And I wanted to go back to my country right away. I said, the plane who took me, he brought me here, take me back to Cairo. I was not happy. That was my impression, and I never forget it, that I was disappointed in New York. After that, it got better. She was traumatized, and she wanted to go back right then and there. But we had cousins who lived in Jersey City, and they took us to the Palisades, and we had a grand time going to the carnival and the amusement park and enjoying things that we'd never experienced before. But we left New York and we went to other states. We went to Louisiana. It was very nice. And it's my mom's cousin's house. She had to go to work and leave us in the house, and she said, you know, make yourself at home. You know, there's food in the fridge, etc. If you want to go out, help yourself. And she gave us a key. And she had this cat. She had a couple of cats, but one of her cats decided that it was going to guard the refrigerator. To go to the kitchen and try to open the fridge, and here is the cat, the black cat, sitting on top of the fridge and staring at us, and I was scared. I didn't want to touch the fridge, so we stayed hungry until she came back from work in the afternoon. Well, we all gathered around. We were at my mom's cousin's house, and we gathered around this little black and white TV set, and watched Armstrong touch, you know, put his foot down and land on the moon. It was just something you'll never forget. It was exhilarating. It really is marking the time that we came to the States. It's exciting. We were excited to be in the States. So the two together have always been associated in my mind as the onset of our experience in the United States of America. Life was actually pretty darn nice. We were very spoiled, very fortunate. Went to a French school. We had a social club we could walk to from our home. Our summers were wonderful. You could go swimming every day at the club, hang out entire day with your friends. We weren't lacking for anything. We had a cook, we had a maid, but you know, pretty soon we could feel that things were changing. Life was good in Egypt until King Farouk was kicked out. For us, it was a disaster. A socialist regime that took over, and everything was run pretty much with the military at the helm. A lot of our relatives lost their companies, were kicked out and told, you know, too bad, it's not yours anymore. Those kinds of things happen. The country was not very nice to stay in, especially that we are Christian and it's a Muslim country. Used to be, years and years ago, it used to be a Christian country. And then the Arabs took over and became Muslim. And pretty much if you were wearing a cross, you were guaranteed never to get an A in school. And a female, since there were 3 of us girls, were not allowed to advance the same level as men were.
So my parents felt that for our future and for our religious freedom that it would be best if we immigrated.
And all my friends went to Canada. Used to be with us with me in school. They went to Canada. And my husband did not speak French, so I could not ask him to go to Canada. So I asked him to come to America.
So it was exciting when we finally told people. We ate so much. People would invite you over like you'd never have this food again ever, and we ate and ate and ate.
So Hollywood, my mom's cousin was living there, and he helped us to find an apartment, and we stayed on Kingsley Drive in a nice apartment, 2-bedroom.
That was a very special time. In '69, girls wore mini skirts and guys had long hair, and that was absolutely not the way things were in Egypt. And my dad was cringing, I'm sure, on the inside. But we were allowed to wear some mini skirts, and luckily we didn't have any boys in the family. I don't think my dad would have allowed them to have long hair. But so it was exciting. We were all independent. We all helped in the house. In Egypt we had maids and cooks, and we didn't have to lift a finger. And here we took it as an adventure. We all shared chores. We all studied to work. I was too young, but I studied key punching so I could take a job way back in the olden computer days. But we all felt like we were in this together. Sacrifices that my parents have done for us are something I'll never forget, and I never forget. And I thank them every day.